Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, I've got a fantastic depths video for us today. This one's going to be about the wrestling system, which is built on the Dark Dungeons, Back Me, Rules Cyclopedia, wrestling rules from the core books. Now this demonstration today is going to be featuring the Rules Cyclopedia rules. And so let's just get right into it. So what I want to start with is let's talk about the wrestling rating and how that's calculated. Let's double check that that is being calculated correctly. So our scenario here is we've got, before I open up any sheets, we've got Friar Freddy and Brodo and two other members of their party over here. You got Krogar, and then this guy has got a terrible name. And they've gone into this dungeon, this labyrinth, and the first thing they found when they got there were two ogres, one chained to either side, blocking the, as soon as they opened the door, these things got up, these behemoths. Chains are only about 15 feet long, but that lets them block the center. Unfortunately, this ogre doesn't look like he has a full toilet, so his solid waste would have to be waffle stomped through this grate right here, which this room really stinks. But that's besides the point. The ogres are dead, and you may wonder where their bodies are. Well, they've been chopped up and thrown down the toilet. So, and no blood. Well, this is a very clean adventuring party. They've mopped the room and tidied it up. So, but while they were chopping up the ogre's bodies, they were digging through the ogre's belongings, and they found some really good loot. They divided it up, but there was one item that Friar Freddy and Brodo both wanted, so they're gonna wrestle for it because no one can agree. So whoever wins the wrestling match, whoever pins the other first, they're gonna get the item. Now, let's look at Friar Freddy over here. He has disrobed. He's down to his undergarments. He's, taken off his backpack, all his stuff, his armor, dropped his weapons. And so he's just standing in his underwear, basically. And you see he's got a wrestling rating of 12. So let's double check that that's right. So we're going to do that. We're going to take a look at the Rules Cyclopedia here and just look at these weapon wrestling rules. So it says the wrestling rating for a character or NPC. We divide the character's level by 2, rounding up. Okay, Friar Freddy is level 3. So divided by 2 is 1.5. Rounded up is going to be 2. So we got 2 for Friar Freddy starting off. Next, we add the bonuses or subtract penalties for strength and dexterity. So we see Friar Freddy has a strength. Well, maybe you can't see it. It's covered up. Let's move it over here. I'm saying, oh, you can see this and that, and you probably can't see it. So there, now you can see it. So there you can see the 12. So Friar Freddy has a strength of 14. That gives him a +1 modifier. His dexterity is only 10, so he doesn't get any bonuses for that. So we add +1, so we're up to 3. And then finally it says find the character's unmodified AC and add the result to the total. It's saying if the unmodified AC is being affected by a dexterity bonus or some kind of a magic item like a ring of protection, then don't count those. You just want the unmodified. And so in this case, they aren't even wearing armor, so it's just going to be a 9. It's pretty easy. And this is Rules Cyclopedia Descending Armor class, so a 9. All right, so we add 9, that's 12. So this looks right. Now let's look at Brodo the Halfling. Now Brodo's is 13, so let's see how he got 13. Actually, it's going to be higher than that. So let's, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll leave it at 13 for right now. So Brodo is level 3, so we have 2 for that. because divided by 2, rounded up, so it'd be 2. Then we have a +0 for strength, but we have a +1 for dexterity. So we get the +1, we're at 3. And then his says 7 here, but that's because of the +1 for dexterity made it 8, and then he's wearing a ring of protection, which would have brought it down to 7 from 9. And so it's 9. And so the number should be 12, but it's 13. Well, why is that? That's because Brodo, as a young lad growing up and as a young adult, he was totally into wrestling. And so he has a weapon mastery, he's skilled in wrestling. And so let's see here. It says the weapon type is wrestling, and the bonus type is a wrestling rating bonus of 1. So that would bring him up to 13. But that's not all. Wait, that's not all. There is something else here, and we're going to hide this PDF so we can see the screen as we're doing this. We're going to close Friar Freddy for now. Close this. We're going to give him the skill, the wrestling skill, and hopefully all this works. This is, I think, the first time I've tried it all together, so hey, if it doesn't, no big deal. I can pause the video and figure it out and then come back like nothing happened. Okay, so here's the wrestling skill. We're going to give him that. And for every level of this skill, he's going to get a +1 to his wrestling rating. So he has a 1, and so that's going to give him a +1. So 14. All right, it's working. So we've got Friar Freddy with the 12 and a Brodo halfling with a 14. Okay, so we can proceed now. So what we do is we're going to say Brodo is going to be the initiator of it, because someone has to be the selected and someone has to be the target. Actually, you can have multiple attackers or instigators of the wrestling against one target. Okay, and so if you need the opposite, then you reverse it. You make the ones who are targeted be the instigators, and you target the one person. You can't do multiple to multiple. This isn't a game of what was that game called? I can't remember right now. I'll find it later. Anyways, so let's bring back the document for a moment. Guys over here so we can keep them in focus. Okay, so what do we do next? Well, what we do next, if I can find the scroll bar, is the procedure here. So the procedure, each opponent involved, I'm going to make a simple roll of a 1d20 each round. So each round of combat, they're going to roll 1d20. Oh yeah, combat. Let's get them into a combat. There we go. All right. And if the character's trying to wrestle, so whoever gets initiative, I guess, is the instigator. If the character's trying to wrestle, he adds his wrestling rating to his roll. If he's trying to do something else, like strike, use a dagger, because you could have an unarmed, you could punch somebody using unarmed combat while you're in the middle of a wrestling match. Or if you had a dagger in your hand, you could use that. Someone could be trying to wrestle someone who has a weapon, and one person's attacking with their weapon, the other is trying to grapple them down to the ground and pin them. Okay, but we're going to keep this simple for this case. We're just going to do wrestling against wrestling. So in that case, right now in wrestling, there are 4 different states to the wrestling match. That is free, which is what we have here. They're both free. We have grab. Okay, and when grab, that means one has grabbed the other, or if they're both grabbing each other, then you know, in your mind, if you're narrating it, they could both be holding each other like in wrestling, but one has the dominant position. That's the one who has the grab. Then you have takedown, and again, you both could be on the ground, but the one in the dominant position, and that would be the one who is got the takedown on the other. And then finally pin. So what you do is you work through this round to round. So we're going to do that. And I'm not going to go into all the details of the math because it's handled for us. I just wanted to establish that the wrestling rating is right, that we're going to be rolling D20s, one for each side, and whoever gets the higher, the higher roll wins. A tie means there's no change in the character's relative situations because the situation, you know, it's relative to the other. All right, so let's do this. So I'm gonna roll for their initiative. Brodo gets the who would have thought, right? Because Brodo gets an initiative bonus for being a halfling, and then his dexterity bonus. So he got +2 to his roll. He would have won it anyways. So he's gonna target Freddy, and he's going to. We're gonna click down here. Oh, I'm gonna hide the PDF. Let's get the full picture. So we click down here on the wrestling contest. Oh, my nose itches. And so we can see here, this is for this round. The state is free, and it doesn't remember, unfortunately, but it's not a big deal. You could just write it down, and maybe later I'll make it remember, but that could be complicated if two people go to one and then another one joins, and you know they're all switching who they're wrestling or whatever, you know, some big barroom brawl. I didn't want to try and think that through. I just wanted something that I could use as a little helper tool, and the DM can keep track of the other part for now. Okay, so they're both free. Brodo, the instigator, 14 is his wrestling rating. Friar Freddy. Oh, so we're gonna roll and pop out a chat window. Let's clear it. And here we go. All right, so the attacker Brodo rolls 3 dice 6. Why 3 dice 6? Oh, his hit dice is. Oh, it's just showing. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Anyways, it's just saying this is his wrestling rating. The defender, this is his. And the defender wins this round. Okay, so the current state is defender grabs. So that means for this round, oh, and we should have begun combat. Right now, Friar Freddy has Frodo in a hold. So let's see what happens next round. These two guys are just cheering him on. Next round. And because now it doesn't matter initiative. Because now Friar Freddy is the dominant one, and the state is going to reflect his position relative to Brodo. Okay, so go open up this. We're gonna say Friar Freddy is. Oh, you know, I have it so it works both ways. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, but I don't think we have to roll initiative because they're both going at the same time. I think I just did that to see who the instigator was. All right, so right now the defender grabs. That's where we're at. That is the current state. The defender has current state, defender grabs. It says it right there in the chat. Okay, so we're going to roll again. Let's see what happens. Round 2. Okay, the attacker won, so Brodo got free. All right, next round. Let's see what happens now. As you can see, this could go on for a while. So they're both free. Let's see what happens. Okay, this time Brodo gets Friar Freddy in a hold. And I think it would be nice if it stayed open, but like, again, I didn't want to do that in case other people join or the one stops wrestling or whatever, but I'll think about it. That's that is a future task. For now, this is serviceable. And it's better than, just trying to remember it all and looking at the rulebook. Okay, so right now we've got attacker grabs is the current state. Okay, and on this round, Brodo takes down Friar Freddy. All right. So we will bring up state is attacker takedown. So if Brodo wins this round, it's over. So let's see. And Brodo wins. He gets the pin. And the match is over. And so that means Brodo gets the item. What was the item? I'm not sure. It was a roll of gold leaf toilet paper from the side here. Unused, so probably worth, I don't know, a couple hundred gold. So anyways, they put their clothes, their armor back on, they equip their weapons, and they get ready to see what's in the rest of the dungeon. I'll do another quick video on unarmed combat, and then maybe after that, we'll mix it up, throw in all the different stuff, and see how that works. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Take care. See you next time.